let's do some geometry, straight lines. So I have a couple of straight lines and I'm going to explain how you get the angle. So there's A115, so I'm referring to these kind of things. We have a straight line and a line that goes from the straight line, and we have to determine A. So one of the rules in maths, let me just do this. So one of the rules in maths is if you have any straight line like that, and then this angle over here equals to 180. So a whole circle, that's 360. Therefore, if you look at this here, if you take, let's use the same line, but I'm going to draw it like this and other way around. And so suppose there is a line, so that straight line over here, that will also be equal to 180. So any straight line, it doesn't matter what you have, whatever the way you look at it, that whole angle, so the angle from the straight line, that angle over there, the whole angle will always equal to 180. So that's one of the rules, and that's something that you must just remember, maybe write it down, because this will come in handy if we do the other stuff. And again, these kind of stuff we do it now in grade 8, but we will get it in grade 9, grade 10, 11, and 12, and throughout your maths career. Okay, so let's start. So here we have A and an angle of 115. So the angle of 115 is this angle over here. From the straight line to this line over here. But there's still another angle that is outstanding, and that is A. So this A's angle that is from that line is that angle over there. So as you can see, the blue and the green, this whole angle equals 180. But the A is the green one, and 115 is the blue one. So the formula for maths, how we do this, we say A plus 115, that's the two angles, equals 180. So basically, if the whole angle is 180, we are saying A plus the 115 gives us 180. If we just put it in another way, if we have something like that, if that is X and that is Y, then we're going to have X plus Y equals 180. Let's just keep that there for now. So the two angles equals 180. That's why we are saying A plus 115 is 180. And from here, if you didn't watch my grade 8 simplify video, please do that, as well as the mixed operations video as well. Because in there I explain in detail how you work out certain things. So let's do this. So for this, we want to keep A on one side. And to keep A on one side, we have to take the 115 over to the right-hand side of the equation. So we're going to keep the 180 there. And to take the plus 115 over is going to become minus 115. Let's keep it in that color. So here we have a plus. If it goes to the other side, it's minus 115. So if we do that, we can work out on a calculator, or we can do it in your heads. The answer will be, what's that? 65 degrees. So if we look at this here, that 65 degrees refer to this A over here. So that A is 65 and the other angle is 115. And if you work this out on the calculator, 65 plus 115, then you will get 180. So then you know your answer is right. So just want to repeat again, you take the 65 plus the 115, and if you get 180, then you know your answer is right. Let's do another couple of examples so that you understand it a bit better. So let's do, and I'm going to draw it differently. Let's do that one, and then do a line there and a line there. So that is C, that is 70 degrees. and that is 50 degrees. The previous example, we had 2 angles. Now we have 3. There's C from that line to there. Just keep in mind the straight line that we're talking now about is the straight line over here. So we have C, which is 1 angle. And then we have 70, which is the second angle from that line over there. And then we have 50, which is the last angle. So as you can see, we have the 3 angles, C, 70, and 50. That's lying on this red straight line. And now the equation is exactly the same. The C plus 70 plus 50 is going to equal 180. Why? Because if you look on your page, the straight line, all the angles of a straight line equals 180. So in this case, we're going to have C plus 70 plus 50 equals 180. And if we do the math, we're going to have C plus 120 equals 180. And now again, you take the plus 20 to the other side, and then it's going to become 180 minus 120, and that answer is going to be 60. And if you want to test again, you can put that 60 in here, and then just work out quickly what is 60 plus the 70 plus 50, and you should get 180. If you do get that, then you know your answer is correct. So I'm just going to do a lot of examples so that you can get a feel of the different type of questions that they're going to ask and how you can answer that. So let's do this one. They have a B there and 3B. Exactly the same 2 angles. So first identify the straight line. So there's a straight line. The 2 angles is that one over there. And the second angle is that one over there. So now we're going to have B plus 3B equals 180. Always all the angles that's lying on the straight line must equal 180. And now we're going to have B plus 3B. That answer is 4B equals 180. And now we're going to have B equals 180 divided by 4. To get rid of that 4 over there, you divide this by 4. Let me just show you what I mean. So we have 4B equals 180. So you're going to say this whole thing divide by 4. But whatever we do on the left-hand side, we must do on the right-hand side as well to keep the equation the same. So now we have to do 180 divided by 4. So on the left, we're going to have only B. Why? Because the 4's cancel out. And on the right-hand side, 180 divided by 4, which will give us 45. So this answer over here equals 45. But now, how do we check it? Let's just make some space over here. So how we check it, on top you have the B. So we say over here, B equals 45. But now in this equation here, we have a B and a 3B. So let's see, there we already have the B. 3B, let's put another color, equals, so whenever we see a B, we're going to put 45. So 3 times B equals 3 times 45, which equals 135. So now we have B that equals 45 and the 3B equals 135. So let's see if we add up the 45 and 35, what do we get? We do get 180. So that means the B plus the 3B equals 180. And that means our answer is correct. So that's just another way to check your answer, to always put it back, whatever answer we get here, to put it back in this question. And if you do that, then you know your answer is correct. Right, let's do another one. So this is something like that. It's got almost like a square over there. And a line that comes up there. There we have D. And there we have 25. So let's see what is this. This is a square. So what is this? This is 25 degrees. So how many angles first? What is a straight line? So there's a straight line. How many angles are we talking about? Well, we have this D. That's the one we have to work out. And we have this 25. But now the question is, have we got another angle? We have the square over here. So what does a square mean? A square on a straight line always means that is equal to 90 degrees. That's just another rule in maths. So if we do this, so if this line is perpendicular to this line, so if the yellow one that is perpendicular to the red one, perpendicular mean this angle over here is going to equal 90 degrees, and then they make the square over here. So if you see a square in maths, whatever square we see, oops, not like that. Whatever square we see, okay, then we know that is 90 degrees. Doesn't matter how the square look. It can be like that. Just remember that is 90 degrees. That's another rule in maths. Maths is about rules. If you know the rules in maths, then you will know how to get to the answer. The rules in maths is almost like a map. So if you know the map, how to get from one destination to the second destination, if you know your map, then you know how to get there. And that's exactly the same with all the rules in maths. Therefore, if I ask, write it down, just keep it on a separate page. That page you keep handy with you in the front of your book. You'll always get something that you're going to get used for it. Okay, let's just get rid of all of these. So let's get back to the sum. We're still with this one. So there we have the 90 degrees. Green is the 25, blue is D. So we have to find D. And now the equation is going to be D plus the 25 plus the 90 degrees equals 180. Now that's the rule. Straight line, always 180. So now we can just do the math from here. D and then plus 25 plus 90. That answer is plus 115 equals 180. Then we have D equals 180 minus 115. And that answer is 65. Now let's double check. Is that correct? And like I say, to double check, we take this D, or this D equals 65, and we put it in there, 65. And now we just do it separately, a calculation, because if we add up all these three, we must get 90. So we do 90 plus 25 plus 65. And yes, indeed, we do get 180. Therefore, we know it's correct. Next one. And as you can see, I draw everything differently so that you can just get a feel of the different question that they're going to ask. So that's 3E and 117 degrees. So this is just a very simple thing with two equations, two angles, but importantly, we have this 3E over here. That's going to put a different slant into our equation later on if we work it out. So we have that angle, we have this angle, and just to keep in mind, we're working with this straight line over here. So always first identify the straight line, because once you know the straight line, then you can do the angles much better from there. So now we have the 3E plus 117, which equals 180. So first we're going to take the 117 to the right-hand side. It becomes 180 minus 117. And if you say 180 minus 117, you'll get 63. And just keep the 3E over here. And then we have E equals 63 divided by 3. And that answer will give us, is that 21. Let's check if it's correct. So E equals 21. E equals 21. But this is not E. This is 3E. So let's see what is 3e equal to. So 3e equals, so wherever we see a e, we put in a 21. So this 21 we put in there. So that becomes 3 times 21. That answer is 63. And then, so that means this whole angle over here is 63. So now we need to add the 63 to the 117 to see if we get the 180. And if we do that, yes, indeed, 180. So that's as always what I do, just to double check if my work is correct. And it's almost like you get that confidence. If this thing in the exam is at 2 marks, then you know that's 2 marks in your bag and you can continue to the next question. And that's exactly what we are going to do. So now we're going to draw it like that. There, so here's a 2f, 4f, 30 degrees. So let's see what we can do with that. Where's the straight line? That's the first thing we have to identify. It's over there. The 3 angles is the whole 2f, the 30 degrees, and then the 4f. So it's 3 angles that we're talking about. 3 angles means we're going to have 3 things, 2f plus 30 degrees plus 4f equals 180. Again, this is a simplification. So again, you need to watch my simplification video and the mixed operations video. Then you can understand this. So 2f plus 4f, that gives us 6f. Then we have the plus 30 equals 180. So 6f equals 180 minus 30. So let's just move this on top here. I'm just going to write that line again. 6f equals 180 minus 30. Then 6f equals, that's 50. And now to get f on one side, we're going to take the 50 divided by 6. 50 divided by 6. That's actually going to give us not a round number. We're going to get 8.33. Is that correct? Let's just double check all the equations. So we have a 2f, 30, and a 4f. 2f, 30, and 4f. 2f plus 4f is 6f. Plus 30 is 180. So the 6f, the 30 goes over. It becomes 180 minus 30. And I see where I made a mistake. That's why I always check my answers. It's a good thing I checked because the mistake I made was over here. 60, the 180 minus 30, that answer is 150. Okay, now it looks better. So let's continue here. F equals 150 divided by 6. And if you do 150 divided by 6, you'll get an answer of 25. This looks better. I like it when we get whole numbers as answers. But now we need to check. Is it correct? To check again, you put here, we have 2f. So this 2f will be 2 times 25. So 2 times 25, that gives us 50. So the 2f is 50. The green part is going to be 30. So we already have that. And the yellow part, we have 4f. So we're going to take, where we see a f, we're going to put 25. So we have 4 times 25, which is 100. So we're going to have 100 here. So now the question is, this is 50, remember? So if you add up this 50 and the 30 and the 100, what do you get? Yes, we do get 180. Then we know our answer is correct. What answer? The one of f is 25. So I just want to repeat why I always double check my work is the simple mistake that I made over here. So if you just leave out one thing or you work too fast, then you can easily get to the wrong answer. Then you think you're correct, but then you're not. That's why it's just a habit of mine to always check my work. Okay, what is next? Let's do another couple of examples. So let's do this one over here. We have that line, and here we have 2g minus 10, and here we have g plus 40. So again, the straight line we're talking about is over here. The two angles, this is one angle, and the second angle is this one over here. So let's see what we can do. So it's only two angles we have. So I'm going to keep the two angles in brackets. Let's keep it in the colors as well. So the first ones I'm going to write as green. Keep that in a bracket. Plus, and the second one I'm going to write as blue. G plus 40. So as you can see here, we have the 2g minus 10 plus the g plus 40, and that answer is going to give us 180. So now you can see that. So now we're just going to work, first going to remove the brackets and just make it a bit cleaner. So this side we have 2g minus 10, and there's no minus sign. So this is okay. We can just write g plus 40 equals 180. Now we're going to group the like terms. There's a 2g, there's a g. So that answer gives us 3g. Not 3g with a cell phone, just 3g. And then we have minus 10 and plus 40. And that answer is going to give us plus 30. And that equals also 180. So we're going to have 3g equals 180 minus 30. And that is going to give us 150. And now again, we have to take the 3g equals 150. That means g is equal to 150 divided by 3. And then you're going to get answer of g equals 50. Let's see if g equals 50 is correct. So for that, I'm going to put it in green over here. So this 2g minus 10 becomes 2 times 50 minus 10. That answer is 100 minus 10, which is 90. So let's hope the blue is also 90. So the blue is g plus 50. That's over here. And g is 50. And 50 plus 40 equals 90. And both these two together, this 90 here and that 90 will give us 100. So this g plus 40 is 90. That 2g minus 10 is 90. So then we know the answer is correct. Okay, let's do another one. I'm going to do something now. They're just going to, that are different than what we previously have dealt. So this is 100, oops. So this is 112. And here we have A and B. So now the question is, you must work out A and B. So now let's first split this up into two, meaning let's use this as a straight line and use A as angle 1 on this straight line and 112 is angle B. So if we work it out, then A, let me just write it here on top. So A plus 112 will be 180. That means A will be 180 minus 112, and that answer will be 68. So A will be 68. So let's write the 68 over there. Now the question is, what is B? B you can work out two different ways. You can either start the sum again and 1, 1, 2 and B and use this as a straight line. If you do that, you'll get to the same answer of B equals 68. You can do that for yourself, but the easiest way to do it, and this is another rule in maths, if you have something like this and that angle is X, then it's just a rule that that will also be X. If that is Y, then the opposite angle is also Y. Again, write this down because this is also something that you're going to use a lot in maths. So if the one angle is X, the opposite one is the same. So let's just use that in an example. So in this example that we're busy with, if this angle is 68, that means B is, just looking at this, B must also equal 68. So you can do it both ways, like I mentioned it this way over here, or you can just say A is 68, then B is also 68. So that's just another rule in maths that you must remember to make your life much, much easier. Let's do another example like that. Here we have again, almost like a cross. There's 60 degrees. There we have a F and a G. So now we must first work out the one, and it doesn't matter which one you work out first. So let's see, what is F? So if you use your previous example, if you look on your page, if this green angle over here is 60, then what is F going to be? It's opposites, and opposite angles are the same. That means F is also going to equal 60. What is G going to be? Well, we must first work it out, but we can use any straight line. You can either use this straight line over here, or you can use this straight line over here. It really doesn't matter. You can use any one. Both will give the same answer, as in G plus 60 equals 180. And if you work it out, you'll get the answer of 120. And if you put that 120 in here, then the 60 plus 120 gives us 180. Let's do one last example. I'm going to do another one similar, but I'm going to add another angle over there. So here we have 42 degrees. There we have a H. Here we have 114. So if they have, in maths, if they have a variable, that's always the one we have to work out. So how are we going to approach that? Let's first see what we have and what we don't have. So if we use this example here, and remember that angle equals that angle. So I'm going to try to draw that. So here's a line over here, and this line over here is another line which gives the cross. A cross just means it must be two lines that doesn't matter how they look, they must just cross each other. So we have this over here. So now we see we have this big angle here. This is now from that line to that line. And we have this angle over here. So now in both cases, this green angle is opposite from each other. And both of them must be the same. So we have the 114. Let me just take this out. So we have the 114 is the one angle. This is this angle over here. And the other green angle is the whole angle. It's not 42, it's not H, it's the whole one, which is equal to 42 plus H. So I always start with the variable first, H plus 42. So if you look at this, you can see H. Now H, just do another color, is this angle over here. And the 42 will be this angle over here. So if we do this, we can see the yellow, which is H, and then the blue, which is 42. That two together gives us the green, this whole angle over here. So that means H plus 42 plus 42, that equals the 114. Just keep in mind, we're still busy with this construction where that angle and that angle equal each other. So now we have H plus 42 equals 114. And then if we want to work it out, we continue with H equals 114 minus 42. And that answer will give us 72. Looks right. So that's 72. So now we have this H over here gives us 72. And that's it. That's the answer that they want, the variable. To check if it's right, you can just say is 72 plus 42, this whole angle, what is that equal to? And if you work it out, you'll get 114, and this 114 equals this 114. So in this small diagram, it will look something like that. That's 114 and that's 114. Just to give an idea what we're talking about. Good, so that was geometry straight lines. You'll get this, like I mentioned, in all the grades 9 and 10 in future. But if you understand this, then this foundation will be the basis for you to go forward. Thank you very much. Goodbye.